first appearance as biological grandfather. I'm a big fan, a super saiyan all the way. That's awesome. And what a cool thing to bring to light through meme coins. I think that's very fun. So important day for you guys. Hope your community is celebrating. Best of the Goku community. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the show proper. Thank you, Fanzo. Thank you, Goku. Let's go ahead and talk to starting with. Good to see you again. We've got Army CTO on. You know, we've heard me talk about it a number of times. Yeah, I get the feeling, and it is an impression largely from hosting shows, because I'm going to talk to 200 meme projects, maybe 100 meme projects a week just doing the show. That there is a lot more openness towards something that's very much like utility. I've gone with memetic utility because I think that our utility is different from what was happening in like 2017 with people's ICOs and their atrocious white papers were constantly changing paradigms. I've gone with memetic utility because I think that our utility is different from what was happening in like 2017 with people's ICOs and their atrocious white papers were constantly changing paradigms and so forth, and creating these world changes. I feel like meme coins have taken memetility in a different direction. What's your take on that, Army CTO? What do you see coming out of meme projects? Like, do you see a seed change and moving towards something that has more of a useful life for its audience?
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start me off with one tough questions early on, but no,
I always
shit.
ask tough questions.
No, you do be asking some real important questions. But yeah, I do see a difference between like 2 years ago from what meme coins were releasing, and it was just they just basically pump off pure speculation. People, just there was no real utilities, like say for Pepe. Look at Pepe. It's like there was some community members that did some stuff built around it, but as far as the actual devs for the project, there was there was no real utility for it. So I'm gonna just use a quick example. The AI meme coins that are releasing now, most of those meme coins has some type of utility that comes with it. You have the AI agents, that's they're building some of the bots to snipe tokens. It's a lot of different things depending on what's their narrative or of a meme coin. Like for us, for instance, we're doing a lot for our creators. Have creator program, do collaborations where our creators are rewarded. So it's just so many different things out there these days in comparison to like a couple years ago.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems to me, I'll go over to Saga from FEFE, because I think, again, you're sort of an art based project originally, but it seems like if you don't launch with utility, it's something you kind of have to grow your narrative into anyway, because honestly, there's only so many times people can, make bull posts and post stickers and that sort of thing. You need to give the community something, to be involved in. What do you think, Saga? Where has your narrative gone in terms of like extending the narrative to create some sort of useful purpose that involves your audience?
Yeah. Well, I think just one thing that I've always said is that I think because of Fefe's narrative being that it's one of the three frogs from the three books by Matt Fury, that just working with Fefe alone as the coin gets bigger is going to provide you that utility, because it's going to help you grow. Like if you're an artist who makes videos or stuff for Fefe and it's good and people are liking it and it's buzzing, where do you think that hype is going to go to? It's going to go to you, and you're going to get other project deals and stuff. So I think that's a utility right there alone, just working with a business, aka meme coin project, And there's
Sure.
so many other things too, I don't want to take up too much.
Yeah, well, we're just doing the first go around right now, but it's true. you can take the attitude that a lot of NFT projects took, which is you can go ahead and build anything on this because you own the rights to this image. So you're talking about how there's an established community that's already supporting FEFE. If you're creating FEFE related content, I wish we had Token Motion Studios on today. Actually, maybe I
Yeah,
didn't invite them, but
that's a
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's a perfect example, right? Like they started working with Fefe. I think they were like the first project. I think Fefe was the first project that they worked on, and after that, everyone was hitting them up, because they're like they saw the success that Fefe had and them making videos and stuff, and that makes people want to come. So right there, that's utility. If you're a community member, right? Instead of saying, what can the project give me? What can you do for the project in return that will benefit you? You know?
Can
Definitely.
can I say something real quick? Just
Yep.
so, yeah. So our creator program, something similar. We do give out rewards points, and sometimes those, it might not add up to maybe 20, $30, $40 airdrop, but like Saga was saying, I know a couple of community members that got positions with upcoming projects, ongoing projects because of the um, the art, the posts that they was making via our creator program. So yeah, I have to totally agree with Saga on that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So let's go over to. It's true, by the way, folks. I'm sure if you've spent any time being serious, about being involved in a meme coin project, particularly on the Telegram group, the line between creators and supporters is a pretty thin line. Like there are CTOs, and people, of course, celebrate those. When they're done really well. But also, yeah, I can tell you from Lambo that the people who are standing out, the people who are mods, the people who are there involved all the time, whether they have an official position or not, effectively become part of the team in a small way. And I think that's part of what's exciting for people. You can invest in GM, right? And that's probably a more stable investment. I haven't looked at them, but I don't know. I mean, I assume they've got all of those physical assets that their market cap is based on. But you're never going, Campbell's Soup is never going to invite you to sit in the boardroom. that's kind of why people, it's more fun and more gratifying in that way to be involved in a meme coin project. Let me go over
Hey,
to
Justin,
yeah,
hey,
man.
this is Fanzer. I just want to throw in real quick on this because I think this is essential for us in Web3, right? For
Yeah.
everyone that's in Web3, why the hell are we here? Like, we want ownership, we want transparency, we want access, and we want that connection. And I think, unfortunately, we forget that with ownership, with access, comes our own damn responsibility. I hate to quote Spider-Man, but with great power comes great responsibility in that idea of like, do we want to fall trap to Web 2, right? Web 2, we gave up our data, we gave up our information, we expected brands to market for us, we stood on the
Well,
outside, they all got rich, we didn't, right? So I think for everyone in this AI, in the meme coin space, I think part of it is not only allowing it and exciting that, but you have to empower your holders to become more than just holders, right? And I think that is I think that's where we're at. We're in a pinnacle and a kind of a tipping point where it's more than just GM. It's even more than just a Twitter thread. Like, how do I empower people, let them know? So I think this is such an key part of what separates Web3 from Web2. And I think the great meme coins that empower their holders to do more and acknowledge what they're doing is really where the game's going to change.
definitely. And we've definitely seen, whether you're talking about like Doge Foundation or whatever, it seems like even if you launch without meme utility or memetic utility, you're going to at some point hit a tipping point where you've got a large enough audience. You've got to create new ways for people to be involved. Yeah, Goku, real quick, because I want to go through the rest of the panel. We'll come back at you a little bit later too.
Of course, yeah. Just real quick to hit on that, I think that's really important when we're talking about meme-tility and building community. So one thing that we did was within Spaces here, and thank you, Justin, like to really champion Spaces. But we've worked with other token projects that we've made them say-ins. So building within other communities, I think, is so essential, and that's kind of a cool meme-tility that we've done. But also community building, which I think is essential as we move forward in this Web3 space.
Right, I agree. I'm going to go over to Nixie AI Music because I know that you already have kind of a purpose baked in with this music narrative. How is that touching your community? How is your community involved in that narrative, man?
Hello, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So yes, every meme kind of tells a story, and we are telling a story about humanity in the wake of AI, and you can do that with all kind of art. But I think everyone, if they're listening to music or if they think about music, they connect it to their own lives, to certain events in their history, in their private lives. And this is why the music works so great. So you can connect much better to the community if you create great music, and it just sticks better. It just keeps you emotionally much more connected to the brand, to the project, and of course you can also really tell great stories. Like I mean, we made a song about Gary Gensler being fired. I think this is not a great story, but still something which yeah, it was personally great fun for me. But also we tell stories about that you should find your spiritual self in this time where AI basically questions what are we humans, and also what the rise of AI will do to us humans, right? Like this is
Right.
something we should all talk about, and music is a great vehicle. So this is why we're doing it, basically.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's a great point. I'd love to hear a Gary Gensler ballad. We should do a mournful ballad for Gary Gensler. Put some respect on that man's name. He runs marathons. I've looked up all sorts of Gary Gensler fun facts from last year when nobody would ever say anything positive about Gary Gensler. So I came up with things that he did. Anyway, that's no, that's very cool, and it's cool that your music is definitely a great way to reach people. It's definitely promising in the meme space too, because music has, like images, has the potential to reach people. Crossing language barriers, crossing cultural barriers. Not with a 100% translating kind of effect, but better than most things. Let's go over to Ziz. Ziz, what do you say, man? Memetility, is this a direction legitimately that projects are all going right now? Do G-Gens really give a flip about this? What do you think, man?
I think in general they don't, but I'll tell you when they do is when a project like Pepe Coin, this Pepe Coin that's in this room right now, when projects do build, it's just a big boon for the community. So I don't think just to be blunt, Justin, and thanks for the invite again. I don't think they really care. They only want really price go up. That's the main thing. But I think that any utility that you can deliver is great. As for example, the Pepe coin, the big one on ETH, right? So that's everybody knows Pepe is a Matt Fury character, but that team, like pretty much they pulled the old, oh, our dev did this trick and all that stuff. Like when the market was kind of down for Pepe coin specifically, I mean, because it went pump during a bear market, right? But then it went way down, if anybody remembers, right? So basically when it went down, they chose that point to like cash out and buy themselves Lambos and all that stuff. And they pretty much, but my friends told me that this coin was just the tokenomics of it are just too like widely dispersed at this point, and it's too big
Mm-hmm.
for them to really do any negative damage to it. So I think those guys like they pretty much from the beginning had no utility, and nor do they ever have anything planned for that coin. But the community kind of it really is a CTO if you think about it, right? So Big Pepe coin is a CTO, and the community's doing stuff with it. I mean, love them or hate them. Polly did a lot with utility around Pepe coin. Some other people did a lot. There's NFT projects on, that you can pay for with Pepe and stuff like that. So I think there can be utility. In the case of Zizcoin, we do have a metaverse now, and we're trying to do like crypto rewards for IRL push-ups. Like, has anybody really taken part in it? The answer is no, but they will. But within the Ziz metaverse, which is called the Church of Ziz, that's on Crypto Voxels. We do have the Ziz Bible, which is like a 60-page, just kind of how to get shredded, and it really is a meticulous guide on that. So the utility around like GigaChad, Zizcoin, it's a similar utility, is that it's really inspiration and humor around the character.
Right.
So, I mean, that is another utility in itself. But I think anything you can do by way of metaverse, as Pepe Coin mentioned, any kind of NFT or creative thing that the community can take part in, that's all a boon for the project, and it just does nothing but increases the value of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I understand what you're saying, that probably the majority of degens out there want to see the line go up, and folks, and they're there because they want to see their project 1000x. That's true. But I think a lot of us end up dealing with our diamond hand holders, and we love and rely on them so much. Like, they really define the community. Like the whale group for Lambo, and I don't want to even if you aren't in the whale group on Lambo, if you're on the board all the time, you know very very well who you are. The constant participants, the conviction plays, are the ones who really make the magic for what meme coins are. In my opinion, it's part of why meme coins don't perfectly align with Bitcoin when it comes to price movements. When you've got a fairly low number of holders, comparatively speaking, and they are all on board for emotional reasons as well. They're involved in that brand. Then you've got something really powerful, in my opinion. Let me go over to Atsuko Sato. Come on, man. Tell us, what have you guys been doing? Have you been tinkering with memetic utility? Do you think it's an important part of your current or future narrative?
Hey man, thanks for inviting me onto the space. First of all, I just want to say thank you very much. Secondly, I just want to mention there's 4.6 K people in this space and only 16 retweets. So let's spend a few minutes getting those retweets out, guys, and bringing more people into the space, because what a beautiful space. Thirdly, I love the discussion that's going on in regards to utility. I mean, first of all, a meme coin, every meme coin has its own utility, whether it's a developed utility or it is just what's known as the community. The community, in a sense, is a utility, because without the community being the heart of the narrative and the heart of the support, there would be no momentum. There would be no successful meme tokens. So that's how I look at utility. Firstly, is any meme token should have a utility, and that's the community. Do I think they will survive just having a community? I think we're moving towards a more developed space. I think, and this is coming from somebody who's very, very biased, but I believe that, having a main utility where, it brings in revenues, it makes sure your community shine a little bit more, and gives you a bit more longevity is definitely something that most meme tokens end up adapting or should have. I mean, how long can you ride on giving to charity? How many tokens are you going to sell till you run out of money to give to charity? What's gonna keep that token driving for not just 1 or 2 years, but I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years along down the line? It's having a utility that takes over from the community, gives them a break, and brings in some sort of revenues that will support the chart and support further growth into making that token a lot bigger than just a hype.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you. And that's a whole second half of the question I think we're going to get to shortly. I'm going to go over to Baggy, and then we're going to do Goku's kind of feature spot for a minute there and talk a little bit about the character himself. But I think that that's a great point. When I talk about utility, things, something just for funsies is one thing. So something to amuse and involve the community is, hey, incredibly important. Frankly, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that, like, if you're a community member,
I feel better as a community member knowing that there are other revenue streams coming into the project, and that we're creating a project that isn't just looking for more people to buy in to drive up the price of the token to sell more tokens. Because as you pointed out, that is a finite game ultimately. When you create something that is also generating its own revenue streams in various ways, then you've got a project that really has the kind of long-term legs that we're talking about here. I view Lambo in a 5 year time frame, personally, as in, like, I'll get back to me in 5 years, and I'll give you an idea of where I expect it to be then. But that's because we come in with an attitude of commitment for sort of long term. To me, it is just as much a Web3 project as any other Web3 project out there in DeFi or RWAs or whatever. And I think that revenue streams are incredibly helpful toward that end. Baggy, you have your hand up, man. What's up? How are you guys handling utility within your meme project?
Yeah, hey guys, hey Justin, hey everyone here. I saw a lot of faces, a lot of friends here. Nice, nice, Justin. All the time your spaces are amazing. Like, good question, especially this one. I love this one. Is my favorite thing, because in the final, if you look a little bit to blockchain have a utility. Okay, it's about p2p, and in the final it's about fast things, and you can transfer money very fast. So blockchain have utility, and I know that we have projects that don't need utility. Is totally fine. It's totally fine. It's normal because it's about a cult. We can look to Pepe. They will don't need in the future a utility because it's a movement. Okay, they are effectively a movement. So from my perspective is how many movements like Pepe we can have. And we need like maybe we'll have just 0.1% from the coins that are now in the market will be here in the next 2 years, and that 0.1% will be just because of the cult, but in the rest that will continue to have, will be here because of the utility. And we in Baggy, we started with these things from the beginning, because I saw, man, how many calls can be here. Think about when people will buy your coin
Coins
at
that
$10 million
are now in the
what you will
market
say in that
will
moment to
will
your
be here in
investors.
the next two
What do you
years.
say?
What kind
And
of thing you
that
give to them back?
0.1%. And the thing is, we can have, like, in crypto, this is the beautiful part now in bag in crypto. You can give to your investor, to your holders, a return of investment better than in stock market. And we need to go in that direction to give to investors a bigger returns, to give bigger dividends. When we will start to develop this kind of stuffs, crypto will be better and better, because people will don't think to the crypto just a pump and dump or just a pyramidal scheme. And I really believe that this is the future, and meme utility is the future. But I don't say that cults will not perform good in the future. But remember, will not be too many Pepes, okay? Will not be too many Shiba, so, or Doge.
Right.
It's very, yeah. It's depend on narrative, and I really believe that future narrative in 2025 will be with utility, and to give something back to holders, because and I will say that I will finish. More normies that will come here, they will need to have something back, because they will come especially from stock market. So yeah, I'm a stock market guy. I was in the past in stock market, so I know the vibe. I know what that guy wants. So thank you,
Right.
Justin. Nice.
Hey, man, no, you're making great points there. Of course, the tokenomics are important as well, and ultimately, folks, I think what we're going to find is that meme tokens are just another form of fundraising. Like, you can honestly use it to raise any kind of project that you want, and like, what's going to happen. The same thing that always happens, folks. The regulators are eventually going to get a hold of us. Eventually, this playground is not going to be as free and open as it is right now. Those of us who are here right now are going to wish that it was more ours again, because the real money people will have stepped in and the regulators will have stepped in. But the question to me is, in the meantime, what can we accomplish? because let's not assume that it's nothing. Like we can do good things here, and frankly, meme coin projects have had a reputation over the past 2 years, especially going back a year or two. When you ask other serious Web3 projects about it, they can be very dismissive. I bet their tune is changing somewhat now. But there's absolutely no reason why great projects can't come out of the meme space. I want to see the next big L1 come out of the meme space. All right, Lioness, Nina, great to have you on, but I'm going to go to Goku first. Let's talk about an important character in the zeitgeist in general, someone who I'm very aware of. I think I was probably mostly in college when Dragon Ball Z was first getting popular. But we've got Goku, born on Kakarot. My bad. Planet Vegeta to Bardock, and who was a Saiyan warrior, and Genie. And as of yesterday, I believe he is now 40 years old. So you've chosen an iconic character with literally decades of lore behind him. I say as as a hardcore growing up comic book guy for the most part. What made you choose this iconic character to base your project around?
Yeah, I mean, the token obviously is got that cult following and has inspired an entire generation. So I think when this opportunity came up to immortalize Goku on the blockchain, obviously it was something that's we had to jump on, because much like you, my younger brother and I fought for the remote after school almost every day, and he's still a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan. And with those loyal followings and with those cult followings, it's about building a community around it that we can all share and we can all take part in. So now that, like you said, talking about the crypto ecosystem, we can build anything, we can almost do anything with crypto and with the Web3 space. So we're just trying to immortalize Akira Toriyama's Goku on the blockchain, and seeing the conviction of the Saiyans and people coming out of the woodworks and talking about their stories. We're building an amazing community here, and if you join our Telegram, you can see that there's a massive group of of dedicated Saiyans that are sharing stories and sharing community. And yeah, we've got some utility that we're building in. We're in the process of making characters Super Saiyan, much like Baggy. What's up? I see you guys there. Thanks so much. We made Baggy a Saiyan character, and I think building community together, working together, that's the point of the meme coin space. And I know you've talked about this a lot, Justin, but we're kind of going into a meme coin revolution here. And those projects that work together and build together and share together will grow together. And I think it's so vital. Even with Baggy, we've seen some of their community followers come over to our Telegram group and be part of the community. So we're trying to build something amazing here. I mean, within less than a month, we've rocketed up to a 7 million market cap. And I know we can obviously go higher, and it doesn't matter so much in that. It matters more in, sharing those stories. And I feel like I'm pretty versed in Dragon Ball Z, but even hearing you talk about it, it's amazing to hear the conviction of people and hear those stories. I mean, one of the stories that someone shared from a few days ago almost brought me to tears in the community, and we pinned it up in our pinned messages. Just knowing that it's more than a token; it's a movement, and it's a community that's growing to Super Saiyan status.
Definitely. No, I think it's fantastic. And actually, for me, it's sort of a multi-layered fandom, because on the one hand, I was like a little bit aware of Dragon Ball Z when I was, 18 and into comic books, 16 in comic books. But I was more aware of them when I had kids who got to be of the right age to be into it. So it's kind of like a two-layered perception of it. And definitely some of my fondness comes from the fact that my kids were watching the show. And I don't know. So, and he's a very recognizable character. It's kind of surprising it hasn't, come out more in the in the meme coin space, but from what I understand from your guys, there have been other Goku related projects. You know, were you invested in them? Were you unhappy with the Goku projects that had come out before, or what happened to them?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some other Dragon Ball Z and Goku tokens come up, but I think the importance here is recognizing that true growth comes slowly. There has been some other Saiyan projects that have come up, and they've been quick pumps and dumps, but we really want to do something differently here. We're trying to set up beyond a token, like a movement here, because you see that in the crypto space. Even Elio Trades, who's absolutely massive in terms of the crypto space. If you look at his YouTube channel and you look at his YouTube videos, there's literally hundreds of videos. And in the top left corner above his right shoulder, you see a Goku character. Because when we look at the entire space of crypto, it is about going Super Saiyan and pushing the limits and pushing the envelope with things. So with us, we're trying to focus on building a movement here. We're really, obviously pushed by people who are committed to the project and the concept and have been following it for these past 40 years, because we just have so much support from, the Goku, Dragon Ball Z, and anime community. Because, like, I could go back and share that story, but I really urge you guys, pop into our Telegram and read some of the conviction stories from these people, that it's so much more than just a token. It's about creating a movement and sharing that within the communities. It's so key.
Definitely, and you're at 7 million right now. You're looking to hit 14 million. At that point, are you expecting a run on anime memes in the meta in 2025? You think that's going to be a big part of the meta? And how do you want to differentiate, your anime, your Goku meme token versus projects that have gone in the past? Where are you focused in terms of hitting that meta?
Yeah, I mean, that 14 million market cap, we will be the number one anime token on crypto. And again, with building something within True Growth, we've done everything organically. We've never really done any boosts. We've never paid for KOLs. Everything has just been trending properly. What we've really tried to do is not only engage our own community, engage other tokens like Baggy. Like, I love the Saiyan Baggy that we made for you guys, and any other token out there. If you want to work with us and collab with us, we'll make you guys a Goku Super Saiyan version of your token, because that's what this is about. Dragon Ball Z had over 300 million viewers in over 80 countries. So we know that, the anime token in the anime space is big on Web 2. So as we transition more into Web 3 and more people become familiar with what we're doing, we're building something very, very powerful here. And we're really excited to, have this team so committed and have everybody on board and sharing the stories and sharing the community, because that's what this is all about.
Right. Well, not to hint too hard, but I do already have, white hair that just sticks up all over the place anyway on its own. So making Super Saiyan Justin Roberti should really be like, I'm halfway there, honestly. But no,
Consider
it's
it
been,
done, Justin. We'll do a Super Saiyan. We'll do
Do
a
it, man.
Lambo
Do it.
Goku as well. Let's do it up. That'd be so
I'll,
much fun.
I'll post the hell out of it.
Make
That's
Justice
funny.
Super Saiyan.
You guys are great. Is there anything you want to add? I'm going to go back to the regular show. Any other alpha you want to drop before we go on to our regularly scheduled panel?
Yeah, I mean, we've really lent on the fact that we're trying to build an obsession around this, and we've shown that within the community and people coming out and sharing these stories, that people have been so looking for something like this. We've seen many people online going Super Saiyan. We've seen many tokens when things are going higher that they go Super Saiyan. So we're trying to harness that. We've even looked at larger creators within the crypto space that we've reached out to them, and regardless whether they're part of this token or not, we want to share more of the Saiyan lore and Saiyan story and the
Cool.
Goku story. So we're committed to making larger tokens, smaller tokens, and everybody's Super Saiyan characters. And we've already done the same with some of the big in the space, with Elio Trades, with Kyle Dupes on Crypto Banter, and I think that's really important to just get more views on Goku, and we're trying to do it in a very, very organic way, and a way that realistically Akira Toriyama would want us to do.
All right, awesome. Everyone go over, check out the Twitter account, follow the good people in this space. I forget to say it too often, so do tweet out the space, please. We're happy to collect more people to our already huge audience for today. But go ahead and join the 40-year celebration of Goku over at their Twitter account. If you want to put something on our, if you want to do a pin post on our big board here, you're welcome to do that. Let me go over to Dupe. You guys have your hands up. I haven't had you on the show before, so I'm pleased to meet you. So, Dupe, what are you guys doing with Memetic Utility? And are you dipping into revenue generation, or is this about creating something to just engage the community more?
Hi, good to be in the space. Thank you for inviting me up here. I'm speaking from Denmark at the moment, and I don't necessarily think that meme coins need direct utilities, but I think they will become utilities over time, as some people have spoken about before here.
But does it make your narrative stronger to launch with some utility in mind?
I don't think necessarily it does, because utilities also change a lot, and we see it as people move around and stuff comes out that's smarter and stuff like that. So if you base yourself on something, if you dedicate yourself to a subject as a meme coin, as a community, you can get locked up. You can lock yourself up in a space where you can cause some frictions inside the community, and
Sure.
I think that's an issue.
Yeah, well, I think part of what meme coins do better is, rather than comparing it to the 2016, 2017 ICOs. I read a lot of those white papers. I helped write some of those white papers. I participated in some white papers for some spectacularly unsuccessful launches. It was really a great time in history, but it seems like part of what was going wrong there is they were establishing what their project was supposed to do in the loftiest possible terms and without speaking to their audience at all. Whereas I think with meme tokens, when you launch with a narrative and a cool vibe, and you collect a project around that vibe and around that sense of community, then you can actually talk to the community about what you want to do. I mean, like, it's not like fully a democratic situation right now over at Lambo, but we're talking to them about becoming kind of a central microphone for meme projects, and everyone's kind of stoked about the idea. And honestly, we have taken their advice in a lot of ways. So it fulfills that promise of two-way communication that really should be part of the Web3 ethos to begin with. Let me go over to you, Nina, real quick. I know you had your hand up before. Do you think that, first of all, I know that you very much have a purpose behind Red Soul. And do you think that a purpose creates a stronger project in the initial narrative? Do you think that it ultimately leads to revenue generation, or that should lead to a form of revenue generation?
Thanks for having me, as always. Listen, I actually agree with the previous speaker. I do believe that meme is a meme, and I think we should keep it simple. And I've been there with you with ICOs when they overpromised, sold everything under the sun and never delivered, right? And I do believe that some memes will be evolving. To me, memes are basically decentralized brands and communities. And I do believe that, your community, your narrative, is the biggest, utility, right? I'd rather have a community that comes in, growth organically without all this KOL bullshit, right? And then attracts more partnerships and eyes from Web 2 and Web 3. And I do think that similar to what we experienced when TradFi faded crypto, now we see that even inside the crypto system, those serious projects with utilities, they're kind of at first feeds in the memes, but then they realize the power of movements, the power of community, and, either they try to build their own communities or, partner with the existing communities because it's a smart move, similar to what,
Right.
brand the race for the customer. Now we're going to see, the race, for the community. And I do believe the communities that will complement each other, will be the greatest. And even if you look at Web 2 world, and especially the younger brands, like look at Lululemon, right? They have a very strong community. Look at Beauty Tech, right? Like girls went crazy, right, over a lipstick, and they have those digital communities. And don't forget that the majority of people, it's the younger generation, and their biggest superpower is social media, right? We used to belong to, different clubs, different networks. I myself belong to, like I came from Big Four. We had like all those exclusive clubs. I mean, communities like I open sometimes decentralized clubs. And back to your question about RSO, I have a very simple but very passionate idea, mission behind it. I want to attract billions of leaders to the space. And if this is not, a utility, because I can partner with any brand, I can partner with any project, I will complement any community. So if this is not the biggest community, I don't know what is, but I already get like, invitations. Let's do this together. Let's do, that together. So think about this way. You will never see a pharmaceutical company competing, with the financial services company, right?
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
I look at teams. That's it.
Mhm.
It's do not complicate things, guys.
All right, let me go over to Fanzo. You had your hand up. What's up, man?
I think this is such an interesting cross section, right? Because I think it's easy to talk about the power of community and the lack of need for utility when prices go up and a bull run is imminent. But for anyone that's been around through multiple cycles, that's why most of the meme coins, most of the NFT projects died, was because they didn't have something that actually glued people together. And there's a difference between a community and a network. And I would argue a majority of meme coins today are building networks, not communities. And the true difference between these two is a network is built by people bringing people in. So if you are, it doesn't even have to be the KOLs, even though I think KOLs have a bad rap. I think KOLs have a massive value proposition in this space. We just need to stop hiring shady ones that are shilling anything and find ones that actually have true value, true morals, and a true conviction. But that's a whole nother rant, Justin. We could do a whole space on redefining what KOLs are, because I still think they're valuable. But I think for those that are trying to separate the network from a community, the difference is as people leave a meme coin, if you have built a network, people leave with them, right? And we've seen this, right? When your chart's going up, people are onboarding people. As soon as the chart goes down, people start leaving because the people that brought them in are leaving. If you are building a community, the purpose and the passion of your team and your founders is what keeps people around. And so if you have a core purpose, that core purpose is what allows people to stay when things are going down, when things are going up, and back and forth. And I think this is essential for meme coins, that yes, maybe if you there are success stories, and there will continue to be success stories of memes that have that purpose baked into their meme. But I think from a utility perspective, find utility, connect it to a greater purpose, and then you're going to withstand this idea of network go up, network go down. So I think it's a key differentiator, and I think unfortunately most won't realize the value of utility until their community is pretty much decimated, and they're going to say, I wish I had something to deliver on. I wish I had something that bonded people together, that allowed that passion to be shared.
Sure. Or for that matter, I'm thinking of a particular project, GME on Soul, that, when Roaring Kitty came back, they went up to being a top 10 coin. And I think when you get to a certain point, Fanzo, you have to start looking seriously at your project when you maybe cross the 500 million threshold in terms of your market cap and say, what are we doing here? What's the greater vision? Isn't there kind of a drive to maybe show some leadership in that way, especially when you're one of the top projects?
Without question, right? We hit a 1 billion market cap earlier this year. We're currently hovering around 400 million market cap on Pepe Coin right now. And I think your example of GME on Sol is a good one, right? Because I think there's an essence of what that run up was, but there was a lack of organization, a lack of understanding from top down. And I think, Justin, actually, I think that's where you and I met, was in the GME on Sol community back in the springtime. So I think that was actually where we originally connected. But I will say that the other aspect of this is we have to have entry points for people to come in, right? Like, I think when you look at a meme coin, if the meme is your only entry point and price go up is your only value add, I believe you're limiting yourself, right? We look at the AI plays that are existing right now. We look at metaverse, we look at art, we look at having a value proposition. You're now bringing people in on all different spokes, and people talk about wanting retail to be here. The truth of the matter is, if your only answer for retail is our price will go up, you're competing with millions of coins and hundreds of thousands of them that seem to be created every day. But if you're thinking about it and saying, hey, I want to attract artists, I want to have, like in our project, we're burning Pepe Coin so that you can own part of Based AI, the network within AI. So if AI is your play and you want to use meme coins as the vehicle, we have that opportunity, right? I think it's just essential for us to look at it and say, what are the spokes for us onboarding people? And it is difficult. And let's be truthful, it takes a lot of work from devs, it takes a lot of work from marketing. And I think, Justin, something you said earlier is essential. It requires two-way communication. And I will say most meme coins and most meme coin leaders suck at two-way communication. They like talking at people, not talking with people. And you know what? Web 2 is where people talk at people. Web 3 needs to be about a holistic conversation and talking with people. And I think that is essential, especially as you grow over a half a billion and you want to push that $1 billion market cap. There are exceptions to the rules, but this communication is essential as we continue to grow.
Yeah, right on. I enthusiastically agree with that, as I often do with what you're talking when you're on here. Like the thing about these white papers is like they're so out of touch in some ways. Like they're trying to be leading edge. I remember one in particular. I won't name the project. It was a particularly ill-fated project from back in the day, as in they raised almost nothing in their ICO, and it was about creating, automatic payments or online payments in Africa and parts of India and stuff like that, to where there were a lot of unbanked and underbanked, and they're doing automatic payments for utilities. Great idea, but that's all it was. Like there was nothing else behind it, and there was no movement. There was no grassroots support, even though it was really an idea that could have helped millions of people if it were arranged properly. But instead, they funded it like it was, another Silicon Valley kind of thing, and it just kind of flopped. Well, that, and frankly, we ignore. We've got kind of a Silicon Valley bubble where we still have a lot of people in privileged economies trying to do more projects that support other people in privileged economies, when in fact we could do things to help people all over the world. But anyway, Drew, I've got other people I got to get to. If anybody has to drop off, that's cool. We're going to go on for another 20 minutes or so. Let me go over to my friends Worms Among Us. Just your meme amuses me. I think I've had you guys on before. You've been on my show before, right?
This is the first time here. We had a little space yesterday.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you on, man. So in terms of integrating utility, what's your take on it? I can see how there's a drawback to coming on too strong with a single utility because you haven't established, let alone spoken to, your community. But to have such, you launch with a narrative, you develop the utility out of that narrative, something that suits the community. Has that been? I mean, I think you're pretty early on in the process right now, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But where are you guys on the whole utility question right now?
I think utility is part of our whole motto. We have a few things that bring the process together and the idea of the meme together. And one of the things that we do for utility, it's burning tokens through the comic with the characters that people can buy through NFTs. So with the utility that, sorry, with the profit that we will make through the NFTs, we will buy back and burn tokens. That is one of the mechanisms that we will have, and the mission of the project is to make worms about everyone. Every famous person out there will be a worm. We're doing one by one, and at some point they will notice us and they will start saying, "Hey, I want to be a worm." So the holder of that NFT will be possibly a huge investment holder, because that famous person is gonna want his worm, but someone else will have it maybe.
Right.
Uh, just just an example. We make a Justin worm, and you didn't buy it at first, but some other person have it. You want it. You will have to buy it from him. But
Right.
coming back to the question, I'm all about utility on meme coins. You cannot run only about an image or an idea. Yes,
Right.
it's possible, but if you're struggling in trenches with us in spaces um, every single day, I think you need that. I mean, it needs to be part of the equation. It's gas necessary to come out of the struggle, or even to go into the next step, as you were mentioning. It's not enough just to be one thing. You need to create a network. Like Fanso was saying, you need networking power. You need something to work with. You need something to bring the community together, and to bring that technology, little technologies, that you can call it like that, but a way of doing things that you can have pieces together that will bring value, just
Right.
more than what you are, just value to it.
Right, definitely. Not Arnold, by the way. I keep trying to approve your request. It's not working for some reason. Maybe drop off and come back on, because I'd love to hear about your project. Dupe, I'm going to come back over to you, but let me go to Suncat, because they haven't gotten a chance to speak yet. Suncat, delighted to have you on. Of course, always good to have you with us. What is Suncat doing in the way of utility right now, man? What's your take on it?
Yeah, Justin, really always appreciate you bringing us on. And I'm sure this has already been stated. I'm coming in a little bit late, but yeah, I have been on part of meme projects that their main driver was utility without the gas in the vehicle, which is the community. So right now, I mean, that's really our primary focus: is how are we galvanizing the community, and not just just in Suncat or on Tron, but cross-chain collaborations. And honestly, Fanzo, your input yesterday in the space was so freaking mind-blowing, about this art gallery. Like, that's something we're kicking around right now, is like, how can we provide an interactive space, not just for Suncat, but Tron at large, to yeah to allow the holders on Tron, to show off their skills. I mean, because if all this is PvP, community versus community, it's just a total waste of time, and most of us will lose our money. But if there's actual buy-in and ties with people that we're working with, I'm working. Worms is a good friend of mine, Isaac. We're just our capital right now is our community, and being only about 6 months old, we're discerning what is the utility that's going to be not just most beneficial to the price of the project, but to the larger community in their involvement.
Right. Definitely. No, I think that's a great point. Yeah, Fanzo always makes a lot of amazing points. In yesterday's show and today. Yesterday we talked about PPP versus PvP, folks. If you get a chance to listen to that, you should check it out. That was really a high quality conversation. I love the Wednesday show is a very lots of signal, less noise kind of show, and I appreciate that about it. That those are conversations we favor. Dupe, let me go back over to you, man. Do you have something to add quickly?
Yeah, cheers, Justin.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm a personally a candle holder, and I'm only speaking of experience here in terms of, and I'm trying to be as holistic and unbiased as possible. But if we look at the old times, meme coins in the last cycle, sheep and stuff like this, they went really high up without any utilities. But I think the question is, did the game change with the mass adoption? like the new wave of people that are gonna be coming in? Like, do they have other? Because in 2021, people were really degens, like really degens. Everybody in the crypto meme space, but I think it's getting more normal now. What do you think? And should meme coins adapt?
I think that meme. I mean, personally, are you asking Fanzo? Or are you asking me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see who's speaking. My X is kind of glitching. I thought
Oh,
this
okay.
was just.
Yeah, no, that happens all the time. Yeah, no, I do think that meme coins are adapting. I already kind of played my hand coming into this and revealed my position on this, but anybody who listens to my shows kind of knows that. I think that there was a chance once upon a time to be a Shiba or be a Doge and really just start with a great image and that then kind of break out from there. But we can see that as they became successful, they all branched out. Now you've got like Doge Foundation, and frankly, getting a hold of Doge Foundation, I can tell you as an actual fact, as a reporter, is harder than getting to speak to like an executive at Microsoft, like literally. Like they are the hardest people to reach. So you build up something around them. All right,
Hey
so definitely
Justin, can
I
I throw
agree.
in on that real? Can I throw in that
Yeah,
real quick? Yeah,
yeah.
there's fans. I think the other part about being adaptable is that when you have a strong community that understands what your North Star is, you can adapt, right? I think that is an essential like aspect of this. I mean, like for us a year ago, we saw the AI narrative being a big piece and understood that privacy was going to be there. And we had a team that had launched a layer one in 2016. And so our team a year ago started building a layer one, ZK LLM, connected to our meme coin. So I think there is an essence to what your point is, Justin. Like you can adapt as long as you understand what your North Star is, and you also have to recognize. I think one of the things that we struggle with in meme coin land is it's really hard for people to talk about meme coins in the real life, right? Like let's face it, if you were like, hey, I bought a picture of a dog and it made me millions of dollars, people look at you like you're I mean that's what many of us have heard. And so in a weird way, having utility for your token empowers your holders to validate their investment. So for anyone that's out there and you're questioning where utility at, say like think about at the Thanksgiving table for those that celebrate Thanksgiving next week here in the United States, when you're sitting at the table and you're able to talk about something that has made you money and you're able to talk about it empowering artists and it has this part of utility and it has a website that allows me to do this and we're giving back in this form, it empowers your holders to validate who they are and what they're about. And like we need that as a meme coin like overall brand, because like part of it is like people just look at us as a pump and dump, and it's because we've been branded really badly. And so I think the way to fix that is empower your users to have more than a Telegram and more than just a picture, and it makes Thanksgiving dinner a lot better for everyone that's a meme coin holder.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That is a great point. It's something I've mentioned many times before. Like, does your family? Yeah, I remember my child once. My daughter said to me, "I'm sorry, you have to write about Bitcoin, Dad." And I was like, it's like for one thing, it's not exactly what I do, and it's also not something I really want. I'm happy to write about Bitcoin, but that's also not what I do. I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, normies outside the space don't get it at all. And the one thing I'd really like to see happen out of 2025 is, putting some respect on Meme Coin's name, putting some respect on them as a space. But I want to go over to a new guy on. We've got C4 Captain Kendu. Kendu, what is your? I think this is your first time on the show. Welcome. What is your take on memetic utility, my man?
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the welcome. When it comes to utility in meme coins, here's the cold hard take. In my experience, at least, I've been lucky enough to be in the game for over a decade now, and from everything I've seen, is ultimately the utility is indifferent. Like the retail investor doesn't care. So if you're going to grow your base, like they don't care about that. They care about a sense of belonging and an opportunity to believe in something. That's the reality. However, I think there's an opportunity for utility to come in. Otherwise, we would see VeChain higher than Doge and Shiba Inu and Pepe, right? But they're not. they're infinitely smaller. We'd see Sushi Swap and Uniswap bigger than them as well, and we're not seeing any of that. Well, why? They offer more utility. They offer IRL utility. It's because the community isn't there, right? What utility does is it gives us a floor. So you need to build through community, through awareness. Having even IRL products, branding, swag. If you have like a coffee line, energy drinks, if you have your community is working hard all day, every day, that sort of thing, it's really going to resonate, and that's what's going to build, right? It's the Google philosophy. When Google started, they didn't have money or utility in their business plan. They weren't different than any other search engine. Their whole game plan was to get as many people to use them as possible. And that's what you need to do to build the community, and that extends your potential and your ceiling. Utility comes in at a floor because it keeps the token or the currency being used. So whether that's
Right.
through NFT marketplace or it's supply chain tracking or whatever it might be, but simply just like creating a wormhole or something to that effect isn't going to explode everything on its own. It might be like a flash in a pan, but for long-term life, utility is the floor, community is the ceiling. That's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah, no, I love it. That is a great way to position it. When we first started talking about mimetic utility, I had a bunch of respondents say, "Well, our community is our utility." It's not. Your community is not your utility. It is the fuel that runs whatever engine you create. And of course, to answer your hypothetical, I don't know if you're looking for an answer or not, Kendu. Of course, like yeah, the B&B has utility, but what they don't have is the ability to build an audience and to drive that community the way that we do. And I mean, like literally that project, like they're known. I'm sure some people love them. I'm not saying they have no community. I'm just saying, like, when I do a show, a meme coin project with 10,000 followers will turn out more people than having Tron on as a guest, and that's just a fact. That's from having done spaces for several years. It's part of what got me interested in the meme space. But those are all excellent points. Let me go over to Nixia and then Suncat, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and do a speed round so we can start to wrap it up. What's up, Nixia?
Yeah, I want to add something because people said that there will also be coins like Doge, but 99% of meme coins aren't like Doge. And what we see right now is, I think, a not so healthy trend because mostly influencers interested in their own profit, they are basically desperately looking to slaughter any fleeting popular phenomenon on TikTok or anywhere to make a quick buck. And sure, it kind of works temporarily for a quick pump, but in my opinion, this is not sustainable, and actually, it can be quite dangerous because people they especially newcomers, they listen to these influencers and they get burned by chasing those green candles. Usually it dumps, like there are exceptions, but usually it dumps, and then they might turn away from the space, and because they lost their money and their impression is it's all a scam, basically what's already kind of the image of Web3. So this is not cool. And so coming back to the wonderful topic of the space, if we focus more on the utility, of course Doge PPI exceptions, if we focus more on the utility, then we can avoid this.
Right on. Suncat, those are excellent points. Yeah, Suncat, what would you like to add?
Yeah, I just think, for a lot of these meme projects, they get like hyper focused and anxious about what's gonna keep us relevant, Web3 gaming, AI. I really do think it's up to the lead and the community to, for whatever the utility is, has to take on what the project is about. And for us, it's like, we like giving to cats, helping cats in shelters. And I think, that could be an avenue we take too, is, being a nonprofit, anyways, but I think it really should take on the flavor of the community as opposed to trying to stay relevant because I see that all the time.
Totally. And I love the idea of donating to shelters. It's been done a number of times, but what is when you've got this opportunity, you've got this own tiny independent economy that you've created, why not do some good with it? And everybody online, particularly everybody in the world, for the most part, loves cats and dogs. So I'm always a fan of supporting shelters. There's nothing wrong with that. As much as I am bullish on projects that are also turning a profit, or at least working toward turning a profit. As an investor, I find that very comforting if a project is also turning a profit. That means that they're relying more than just having more investors come in after all. So, okay, let's go ahead into the speed round, man. Welcome Finn on Soul, you just came up, but you're just in time for the speed round. Let's go through. I like to call out other projects whenever possible. So let's go, and small projects and so forth. So let's start with, what project are you impressed with right now, other than your own, in terms of what they're doing to focus the collective action of the community that they've built around something that's, really positive, doing some good, or is just really fucking cool? Let's go over to Army CTO. What do you think, man? We're looking for 1 minute answers. Army CTO?
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
The question is, call out another project whose utility you like, whether because it's doing some good, it's cool, it's impressive, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, I do a lot of these where I make you call out other projects. All right, you want me? I'll
no,
go over to Nixia first. Let's go to
yeah,
Nixia.
let me.
Nixia, you got 1
Yes,
minute.
I have one actually. So
Good.
in another space, there was a meme coin project called Memes of Thrones. I don't have a bag, but they really play well with Game of Thrones. And they also I didn't check them. I just heard what they're saying. I think they have some comics or videos, but it's really a great idea. So it's Meme of Thrones, very interesting, cool project, and maybe I should buy back because I think I saw it pumping. And yeah, shout out to them, great project.
Right. Yeah, actually, I saw them the other day. I think that they were maybe rating a post that I was on or something. Saga, what about you, man? Shout out to another project. Bonus points if it's a small one.
Shout out to another project. Let me see here. I do love O'Hare. They've been grinding for a long time, and they're a really small one, So I'll give them that shout out.
All right, cool. Suncat, utility, another project. Who's doing it right?
Yeah, Thon on Tron. They are very impressive, under a million market cap. I don't own a bag, but know the lead. They're doing this AI story time. Really, really fascinating stuff.
Love it. And I love the great variety of ways that you can kind of establish a useful life for your project. At Tsuko Sato, what about you, man?
Oh, I will have to say Chop CTO because they are absolutely grinder. Their CTO lead is Hedge Fund Killer, and they're developing a VIP transaction bot tracker to put in whale groups or your community to see if any of the top holders are selling without you knowing. It tracks every single transaction they make, no matter where that transaction goes. And if they sell under a certain threshold, then they get automatically kicked out of the group. So I like how it stops any kind of unhonest leaders that are looking to rug their communities, makes it a lot harder for them to press that sell button.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, what about you, Finn? Finn, you with us?
Oh, hello,
Hey.
guys. Yo, I don't know if it's a utility, but I remember like Ada on Sol. It's like for a dog, and they were giving money and charity stuff to shelter and homeless dogs and stuff. So charity meme coin. I think that's kind of cool utility, if you can call it a utility.
Definitely. There have been a lot of projects out there doing local shelters. I've seen some projects that are doing shelters in Ukraine, for example. And that's totally cool. I think that's a great idea. Why not, guys? Dogs, we do not deserve them. Same thing with cats. The dogs and cats will teach you more about being human than just about anything else in this world. To wax
100%.
poetical for a second there. But let me go back over to Goku. Goku, yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, real quick. I only see that there's 45 comments in here. Like, everyone has to be retweeting this space and commenting. Just like when alt season, Justin, we can't thank you guys enough. So everyone go hit that retweet button first off. For small communities, some flowers for Baggy CTO. I think they're absolutely amazing. When you see Baggy hop on a spaces, they bring the noise, they bring the hype, and they also bring the community to their spaces, which is incredible. For another real quick small one, Kenji, they're making a game and they're contributing to, obviously, the shelters around them for dogs. So that's phenomenal. And then when you look at a big meme coin, I really can't say enough amazing things about smoking chicken fish. It's absolutely fucking hilarious, and I can't take it seriously. And I think that's what memes are about. It's a registered religion, and they actually have church on a regular basis. They have the 10 chicken commandments. And when you're creating a cult following, when you're creating a community, that's what it's about. I mean, they're a 40-50 million dollar market cap, and they've got someone like Raoul Powell who has bought a bag. He continues to add to his bag, and he keeps adding. That's phenomenal, and it's all been built organically. We can all learn from the small communities because they show up every day. And Justin, I know you love the meme utility, and I think there's huge value to that. Exactly what Suncat was saying, exactly what Fanzo was saying. This is how we do it, and this is how we lead the Web3 space. I'm just so excited to be part of it, and I'm so thankful that you're having us on here. And everybody here in the space, go retweet it, go share it up. It helps all of us. And like I mentioned before, we're here to help any other token. So if you guys want a say-in token, I know, Justin, we're already going to cook one up for you, but anyone else, let's chat, let's have some fun, let's build some special things together. And if anyone wants to tune into some Saturday morning cartoon chat, hop into our Telegram group. This is where it's all about.
Yeah, definitely.
Justin,
Yeah.
I wanted to rattle off some things that I had for meme coins that they could possibly do for utilities if you wanted.
Yeah, let's go for it. Go.
All right. So, first off, some things that I've thought about: NFT projects, right? You could make an NFT project for your meme coin, and then you have maybe some royalties that goes, all of the royalties go back into your marketing wallet. That helps build a marketing wallet. That's a cool thing. And it also builds, camaraderie. People have the PFP. Then you also got, what was it? Joining in innovative projects like video games, Moonshot, where Moonshot, people can use Apple Pay, which normies, you onboard normies, so stuff like that. Uh, a product website. So you have like a Shopify where all those earnings and the income that that shop makes goes into the marketing wallet to help pay for exchanges and stuff. So something like that. And what was the other ones? Oh yeah, giveaways. You can do streams and videos constantly and art contests, just so many things. And there's so many more things you can think of too.
Definitely. Yeah, no, those are great points. In fact, I'll drop some Lambo Alpha, which I never do here, which is basically we've decided that I'm going to be doing at least a weekly show where we're going to profile meme coin projects of all sizes. So if you all want to be among my first 5 interviews or so, I'm going to do some over the next do like 5 over the next 2 weeks and get that started. The communications angle to it is in itself a utility, and it's one we're really exploring. So those are great examples, and thank you, Fanzo. Let's go over to. I want to make sure I hit everybody in
Oh, that
the
was
panel team schedule.
it was
Oh, that wasn't
Saga.
Fan. Oh, it was. Oh, sorry, Saka. Yeah, okay.
But
One of
we're both
one of the
frogs.
charming things that Twitter Spaces does is not show me who's actually talking after a while. So, like Fanzo's little like speaker thing is moving as Saga's talking. It's just Elon knows how I feel about him, so I guess this is to be expected. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, that was all I had to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
bow. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
yeah, thanks for letting me talk. That's funny though. Yeah, we're both frogs though. So, I mean,
That's true. You
close
have a
enough.
resemblance. All right, let's get more favorite projects and we're going to wrap this up. Worms Among Us, you got 1 minute tops. Your favorite project out there doing something cool, large or small.
Well, it's impossible to me to not name Suncat. I know John from a long way back, and I know how much effort is he putting up personally to the project. The whole Suncat community is doing amazing. The art that they're creating every day I see new art from them. That's nuts, and they have community members doing this for them. So they are building a strong community
Okay,
committed to the project. I
definitely.
really admire them. a lot.
Yeah, definitely. We have to keep it brief, but I totally agree. Love Suncat. Cooler, I think you just got up here, man. So you've got 1 minute to speak. Any other projects out there that are doing cool things you want to shout out? You with us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with you. There's one project that called Kuza. Kuza is just a AI project that teach people to code, and it's very nice project that have been, and it's very nice.
Definitely. Well, good to have you on. You come back, we'll try and get you speaking. And Kendu, I don't think you got a chance to answer this one. Do you have another project you want to shout out, man?
Other than Kendu?
Other than Kendu, that's the function. Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. There's a VeChain is technically not a meme coin, but it technically is, right? VeChain does supply chain tracking. They're top notch. It's excellent. It's a real project. It's flushed out system. It's being used constantly. I think it's wild that like it's just undersold and under recognized when it's something that like has functionality beyond just being a currency right now, and it has since it came out. So
Definitely. All right, and I'm going to shout out LFGO just because it's so rare for them to not be on my spaces. In terms of utility, they build partnerships like crazy and are incredibly good at it. And I just happen to love their project, so I'll call them out for that reason. Fanzo, why don't you wrap it up for us, man? Do you have any last words of wisdom? Do you have any smaller projects you want to shout out? Anything like that?
Yeah, I'll throw one out there. Mr. Miggles on bass. They've done an amazing job with an incubator and an entertainment company. Then on top of that, they've also just been an onboarder for the base chain, kind of working, IRL events. I know they have merch coming out. I think for anyone that's looking at like how do you empower the chain? How do you empower those around you? I feel like Mr. Miggles over there on base. I'm a big fan of the base ecosystem, but I think understanding like how to actually take advantage of that build utility is a value add. And I will throw in there, I like that Saga threw out some great utility options. Like we built a trading bot called KeckBot, and like it's so funny because interestingly enough, like you can build if working with devs. I think the opportunity for collaboration is something that's still underutilized in meme coins. So I think for anyone that's out there that's like looking at utility, even if your team doesn't have maybe the dev skills to build some of these utilities in there, I think there's going to be additional opportunity to play in different spaces and kind of bridge utility. Like being able to burn Pepe coin in the KeckBot is one thing, but the opportunity to burn other coins or bring other ones in there. So I think Mr. Miggles has done that a really good job on that on the base ecosystem. And I think many of us can learn from that on like collaboration and bringing in other coins that are across the board on meme coins. But I love the space, Justin. As always, you do an amazing job of bringing a diverse group of people together. And I still say the same thing I said yesterday's space. Like, I do believe that we together as a meme coin community can lift each other up, lift up great projects, lift up those that are leveraging utility. And if we lift up the ones that are doing good, it kind of eliminates a lot of this bad press and bad bias. And I think together we change the narrative. It's gonna take time, but we can kind of change the narrative overall on meme coins.
Right on. I totally agree with you. I think that spaces have been a real blessing for meme coins, and it's created like a central place for really, sincere meme coin projects to get together and discuss. Goku, you've got 10 seconds because I have to wrap it up. I have a hard stop. What's up, man?
I just wanted to reiterate what everybody's saying here. I think it's phenomenal. Let's wrap it up. Let's keep joining in spaces. Let's keep building the communities. We're literally pioneers in the Web3 space, and meme coins is where it's at. It's going to get bigger and grow more. Let's fucking do this all.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Retweet it up. Retweet it up. Everyone needs to be doing that so much. Like so many people on here. Retweet.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be coming back at you again Thursday at 11 a.m. ET. We love all of you. Thank you to all the speakers. Go ahead and follow all these good people. If you didn't get a chance to speak or the gods of Twitter were cruel to you, I understand that happens every week as somebody gets screwed over every week. Somebody gets rugged and doesn't get to speak. So just get in my DMs. Let me know. Get in my DMs if you're not already, if you're new, so I can tell you when shows are. And we look forward to seeing you again. As always, if you get a chance to get away from your devices, get outside and do something not connected to the internet for 15 minutes today, it's good for you. You should absolutely do that. We love you, folks, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Thank you, Justin.